Okay, we continue our class, our lecture 9 for the topic queue part 1. So what is queue all about? In our daily life, we see queue as a waiting line. It can be seen at the counters, for instance, post office, bank, or even a plaza toll when you see a queue of cars. In normal practice, when someone is queuing, the person is served. The first person is served. That means first come, first serve. And continues for the next person and so on. Unless for overqueue, that means there's a priority for a person to skip the queue and go towards the first line. What are the queue concept? Queue is defined as a list that we can add an item at the end or rare and remove an item at the other end, that means the front. So in this case, the item that goes in first will be removed first. First in, first out. So we call it as FIFO. So the diagram below shows as a queue. That means when you insert here into a queue, the first one will be the front and the last one that enters into the queue will be the rear. And then the front item is the one will be the first are going out from the queue. That's why we call it as first in, first out. So queue is a data structure that is suitable for items that need to be processed in sequence. For example here, like queuing files to be sent to the printer. So when you send all the documents into a printer, printer will do as a list which one the document that come first will be printed first. And several operations for queue is enqueue that insert data at the rear. Second, remove data at the front, we call it as dequeue. Retrieve data from the front, we call it as queue front. Retrieve data from the rear, queue rear. Okay, here is the concept for in visualization. First, we have an empty queue here. There's no front, there's no rear. So when you enqueue A, that means you insert into a queue, A will become the first and also A will become the rear. And then when you enqueue B, only rear is moved. The front still the same. Front will point to the first element A and rear will point to the newest element that insert into the queue. And third, when you enqueue C, rear is moved to the newest item in the queue. So rear will be point C, front still the same with point A. That's how enqueue works. For dequeue, if you have this queue in the line, so when you dequeue A, you dequeue from the front. That means front will move to the next element and A will be removed from the queue. Dequeue B, B will be removed from the queue and front will point to the next element C. And when dequeue C, that means the queue is empty, there is no front and no rear. This is for dequeue operations. So let's see what is more details the operations for queue. Enqueue. Inserting a new element at the rear of the queue is known as enqueue. After the data is inserted into the queue, the new element becomes the rear. So that means if there is not enough room, it will be overflow. Similar to a stack operation, stack concept. For dequeue, removing the front element of the queue, known as dequeue. After the data is removed, the next element becomes the front. So if the queue is empty, then the queue will be underflow. How about queue front? Data at the front queue can be retrieved using queue front. It returns the front data without changing the contents of the queue. Only return what is the element, what is the data, what is the value at the front of the queue. For queue rear, is the operation that we retrieve data at the rear of the queue. We only want to retrieve, we want to know what is the data or value at the rear of the queue. That will be the queue rear.